All right, thank you for your service, and you are going in where you belong. In the dump, baby. Guys, Alfred here. Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and put a video up of what I look for on an inflatable boat. So if you see this video, you'll have a better understanding what I like to look for, especially when I'm buying an inflatable boat. All right. Check it out, guys. So I wanted to show you guys a couple things, what I look for when I'm buying an inflatable. If you look here at this, you see how you almost see like the grain on the hypalon? That is not good. That means it's delaminating, it's at the end of its life. Let me show you a little bit further. So if you do buy, all right, see that right there? That already becomes a huge problem. See here? All right. Let me show you what it should look like. Should look like, you know, nice, all even. Now if you see here, so that's one of the things that if you see a boat or you're gonna buy a used boat, steer clear from this right here, even if it holds air, because what happens is eventually all this gives way and then it bubbles up everywhere and it releases air from all this section or anywhere it's like it. So I mean, don't mistake something like this, which is delaminated, all right, to mildew. You put Clorox on it, it's gone. So you got to make sure that you know which one is which. Okay, here's another tube, another example. The other boat that we were just looking at was a Nautica. This is a Novarania, right? Now, I threw some bleach on there, and you see it widened it out, right? But if you look closely again, you almost see the squares and the delaminating of the hypalon. Remember, what you really care about, this is cosmetic stuff, so you don't have to really go crazy over that. Obviously it looks bad, but this is what you want to look for right here. When you start seeing that, run for the hills. Alright guys, one thing I also look for is bottom paint. When I see bottom paint, that tells me that more than likely this boat was sitting in the water, and that the engine was probably not flushed a lot, or the hull doesn't really, you know, if they put the bottom paint in and all that stuff, it doesn't really drive me crazy, especially if it's a good hull. But I definitely when I see bottom paint on boats, I go a little extra when I check the engine and stuff like that, and I make sure that everything looks and sounds right. Another classic example. Now, you see how just the bottom paint alone gives you an idea of, alright, so this was the Nautica. We're back to the Nautica now. Just the bottom paint alone lets you know it's gonna be out in the water. More than likely, if it's in the water, it doesn't have a cover, and that's when the sun starts baking on it, it gets all beat up. Now obviously you go ahead and you can remove the bottom paint if you want. You can put more. As long as it's maintained properly, it shouldn't be a problem, you know. Yachts, everything, you know, have bottom paint all the time, so that's not a big thing. It's the carrying of the boat while it's in the water. All right, so after I showed you guys that it's bad, the tube, I'm removing it from this Nautica. That's not the console for the Nautica, people. This is kind of like the direction that I'm thinking about going with this little rib. I want to put a little T-top on it. I got that at a flea market for 250 bucks. I got the console for about another 100 bucks. And I think it's gonna work for what I want to do. Obviously I gotta make that T-top larger because it looks like it was a demo T-top for a company or something. Alright guys, so I'm taking down, I'm actually working in a tight space right here because I don't want to move other stuff that I got here. So listen, I'm pulling all this off. Like, if you guys haven't seen the ready to ship video, how to take down tubes from, basically what I'm doing is, and I'll put the link right here if you look to the top right of the screen. Right here, you just put the razor blade and you start cutting, you start pushing down so you don't have to get into the tube, and then you can go ahead and not damage the tube, so that when we use it as a template, it's nice and whole. Alright guys, so I took off the tube on the Nautica, right? And so essentially this is a Nautica 15 wide body. Really good boat. The wide body versions, I like them a lot. 13.5 and 15 are really good boats, and a lot of the guys from Nautica will say the 24 or the 25, I forgot which one it was, wide body is probably their best boat, riding boat. That and the 41, but I mean, who's got money for that? Take a look at this. Look at this. The person who had this ended up putting a piece of wood. They look like they put some, I don't know, some liquid nail, or, I mean, it's weird. But I guess, I don't know, maybe it worked out for him, maybe it didn't, I don't know. By the time I got to the boat, it had no air and none of that stuff. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. These handles, I can put a heat gun on them. They don't look too bad, and they'll come off. You know, you heat them up here, basically on the edge, and it'll start coming off without you damaging them. In this particular case, this whole thing is going to the dump. I don't want to waste the energy on that, especially when I can get them a lot more affordable than most. Alright guys, well, hopefully this was pretty good information for you guys to see exactly what to look for when you are looking to buy a used tender, especially when you're looking for the tubes, and make sure the tubes are good. Remember, it's all this stuff right here. This is what you want to avoid. All this delaminated hypalon. This is probably a 20-year-old boat, so I mean, it lasted a long time, but that's it. She's done. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'm sure you'll see this restoration on your next couple of videos.